All right, folks, you are at one of my historic flips downtown. I'm gonna walk you through the house, but let me go over some of the stuff that I've really got to pee, just stop. Hey folks, I don't even know what to say. Hey folks, this is your boy. I don't know what to say. Booper. Hey guys, welcome to one of my properties. It's a historic flip that I have in the Lavaca Historic District, and I'm gonna walk you through this house and talk a lot about some of the issues and the hurdles and the speed bumps that we've had to go over. So first thing we're going to talk about is adding this shiplap to the wall, having to move this box. We had to run all new electrical throughout the entire house. Great company, great guy that I worked with, but a lot of times when you write down your scope of work, even when you plan it out and you draw out your maps exactly where things go, it doesn't quite work. So we initially had the electrical box and it was over here in between two studs, and it worked perfectly. But because of the column that we have right here, we actually had to move this over because we've got a lot of other components and stuff that we've got to put in, and then we have our overhang for the box panel and the door. And so it just would look wrong if it was still in between here, then it was butted up against the trim plate and then against the column. So we actually had to move this over. And that's just one of the small instances where we've had to do a little bit of a change up. So we did add a closet. This is going to be actually an office space. This is what is going to be seen as an office space. So we did add a closet. This is going to be the actual office space. It can function as a secondary bedroom, but with the closet, we did have two sliding doors that are going to go that are in here. But the original plan was actually to have this recessed. The front door would be moved over and we would have about another 1.5 feet clearance this way. And from here we would have two 18-inch doors, beautiful doors. I had found some vintage doors that were slow curved at the top, and they were going to open into your office space. So the 18-inch doors would actually come and butt up against the edge of this wall, and then they would close and you would have more room over here, just so it didn't feel so cramped. But the city and the historic district and all of their wisdom said, this is a great idea. And then one guy, all it takes is one person on the board to say, you know what, I changed my mind. And then for some reason, they've got all the power to shut your entire idea down. So they told me to keep the door exactly where it's at. For no reason. He just figured, I just want it where it was originally at. Okay, fine, we gotta go by it. So we actually had to recess the door back. Instead of having the in-swing doors, now we're going to do two sliding enclosed doors. We added shiplap here for the foyer, the entrance, and then up here we're actually going to be doing a foyer chandelier. We did do an H-box beam right here that we're going to be painting black. All these colors will be done here in the next 2 months, and we'll do another video shoot once it's completed. This will be stained a nice light espresso color, maybe just a single coat, single treat, thin it out. Now with the windows, getting the windows and getting historic to approve anything is a nightmare. But as you can see, these windows, I don't know if you can see, but if you really look at it and you kind of move, you can see that it wobbles, and this hammered glass look, this is so ancient, they don't do this anymore. So if this breaks, there's no way to replace it with what it actually was. So as you can see, it's two different types of windows, and I want to replace this glass. I want to clean this up, or at least I want to bring this design, this decorative trim down to this window. And we still are waiting for administrative approval on that to get that passed. We added on the 45 here, we added more shiplap. This is actually where the entertainment system is going to be, and we're going to put a standing. We were going to do a built-in fireplace. We're changing it to do a fireplace that sits outside of the cove, and it looks very antique, and it's pretty nice. So that way it's actually a form of your own property instead of being built into the house. So you have the full control over it. As you can see for the living room, this is where your main living area space is. Up here, we've got to have a nice 72-inch fan and some recessed lights. We did have to do an addition, build this out This bathroom is all new, all built out, reframed, and I can take a look. And as you can see, we've already got the tile in for the most part. Penny tile, and then we retiled it with that specialty tile. Now, it's just a standard bathroom. It's gonna fit a 24-inch cabinet. And then the only thing different is that we're actually gonna put a standing chandelier, pendant light for the vanity. All of these windows we were gonna take out and do new. This window right here, as you can see, this is a new one. So this is appropriated by the historic district, and we did do new, but these are so ridiculously expensive that refurbishing the old windows is our best bet. The only way that you can't do that is if it's so well beyond rot that you have to replace them. Now, if you can see, we have the tie strings and the weight system in there. So rebuilding these, refurbishing them, this is your best bet. They're not terrible. They look ugly as heck right now, but once you get somebody, a professional that can really maintain these and do them well, rebuild the pulley systems and the weight system, this could be a beautiful window again. We have our second bedroom. Which is big enough for anybody, but the closet we had to add in. Originally we were going to have a dual closet, but because we had to add the second bathroom, they turned it into a single closet room. We did put lighting in here, so we'll actually have two lights. We'll have a light back here, a light pendant light up there, so it'll be nice. But the thing is, they're going to cut this off and open this up so the room doesn't feel so claustrophobic. And then the light that's up there on the ceiling will shine down on whatever item that you happen to have on top of your closet. I tend to like doing that better. It opens up the space and it creates a usable shelf space that you can do whatever you want above the closet instead of having wasted space inside the closet. So we did add this pull down, and inside the attic, we have a full, we're not going to go in the attic, but we have full blown in insulation. The city allows you, I forgot the percentage rate on the cents per square foot that you get reimbursed, but the city will reimburse you. And so it's always recommended that you take advantage of that. Brand new AC system, everything's in place, brand new electrical, brand new everything, brand new plumbing, everything is brand new in this house, redone completely from the studs up. As you can see, another new painting that will be going in. Up here on the shelving, probably wondering, well, what the heck is this about? I can tell you right now. These are ducts for the AC, okay? And to hide those ducts, we actually had to build it in. And we built a shelving system just as architectural design. But this is usable space. So we added an outlet up there, and you can use the space for whatever. You can add accent lights, throw floral arrangements up there, whatever you want. You can put your crazy dolls. It's just nice space to have, and instead of just wasting the space putting an angled duct system, you might as well turn something into usable space. So we're gonna have a barn style sliding door, and then when you come into the bathroom, we're gonna have glass, and everything we're gonna do is gonna be a gold, an antique gold and polished gold kind of look, and we're gonna have a drop-in rain shower, nice little toilet closet over here. Of course, it's not gonna be enclosed. We do have the H-beams in here as well. These will actually be flipped around. They put those in wrong. And then for your closet, as you can see here, another sliding hideaway closet door. For some reason, I can't think of the name right now. I'm so exhausted. And then you've got your full-size closet, which is going to have two lighting. That's going to be a chandelier, and this is just going to be a flush mount. So a lot of chandeliers in this house. I love chandeliers. All right, for your kitchen, another set of beams because they're beautiful. We're gonna have chandeliers again, dining, kitchen. On this side, we're gonna have full-size cabinets, arrangements. We're gonna have shelving built in, so no upper cabinets, just shelving, make it really, really nice. And then we're gonna do corner cabinet, and then we're actually gonna do two uppers, one in the corner and one right here on the side of the window, and then we're gonna have the shelving. Then we're gonna have wraparound to your range, which can be, it's gonna be fitted for electric or gas, so whichever one that you want. And then we're gonna have over the range microwave with vent, and then cabinetry above that. We're gonna have a 9-foot island, amazing island. And then we actually added recently in the past week, we're gonna go ahead and turn this into a full-size kitchen portion as well. Originally it was just gonna be walk-through with maybe some coffee bar or something in the end, but now we went ahead and turned it into, that's where the fridge is gonna go. It's gonna have full enclosure and full cabinetry all the way around. And then up here, also the same, we're just gonna have uppers in the corner, but then shelving on the wall. So in here is where we did our addition. So as you can see right here, here's the exterior. Okay, we added the addition all the way through to the bathroom and everything. All this is new. We had to add the addition just because the layout for the house wouldn't work originally, and getting HDRC to pass all of this was definitely not fun. But we made it happen. And when we built this water closet and we built this pantry area, they kind of got it messed up. So they actually built to where the water closet's going to go here. You're going to have your water heater and you're going to have your water softener. But then here we made it to where this is going to be your stackable laundry. So you're going to have small pantry, water closet, and then washer and dryer room. As you can see from the neighbor's yard, he has put a lot of money and effort into building out his pool. Beautiful cedar fence, and we're actually going to build that same fence line out through here all the way down. And then he built his shed, which actually we need to add a gutter on so that way his water doesn't rain into my backyard. And then we just finished meeting with the contractors. See, it actually falls in right here. This shed right here has been built out, and it was actually out all the way to right there. And we've been sharing that shed for, I guess, 100 and something years. So we worked an agreement to where we would wall it off, brand new, hardy, build it out for him. That way he can keep the shed on his side, and I don't have to have it on my side. So that's a nice little wall division between our property lines. We're gonna have to crane in the Michael Phelps style hot tub pool thing right here, and then all deck space right there all the way out to here. And then you'll go down out here will be your driveway slab, and then you'll have your fence line that will be on rollers that you can open into to get into your backyard. All right guys, so we're now out here in the out front. We're going to go ahead and tear down all of this landscaping, and we're going to put in 2 knee palms and do as much xeriscaping as we possibly can. Now, we had to redo a lot of this siding, but as you can tell, the roof, we just painted it. We sealed it and painted it. It is a beautiful roof. It didn't have any leaks. We have it tested by 3 different companies to make sure. The only thing they found was, surprisingly enough, a .45 caliber bullet hole in the roof. So it's a little bit worrisome, but it looked so old that they said they would just patch it up and it was good to go. So we just painted it, and we're gonna be adding some gutter systems, drain outs, and then we're gonna be rebuilding this the columns. We're actually gonna make it similar to the way that the neighbor has it. Once we get the paint outs and everything done, we're then gonna to flush out the steps and the patio and make it, probably do a layer of Trex, or just put in some pine on top and make it seat just right. And then we're gonna redo all the railings and everything and be done with this house. Now with the electrical, we actually did have to spool it up and put it onto the pole, which you can do. A lot of people don't know that they can do that, but any unused stuff from AT&T or any fiber optics company or anything like that that's stuck on your house, anything that's not direct power, you can actually detach, roll it up, and attach it to there and have the city deal with it. Now, you can tell that the wire is making contact with my metal roof. That's not feasible, so we might actually have to build something to where it supports it a little bit higher. But it is 18 feet above the ground, so it is actually still okay. So it's not an immediate danger for the city to want to come out here and fix it immediately. Good. All right, folks, so I wanted to talk to you guys about this property that I picked up. It's the Callahan property. It's probably the longest running property I've ever had to do. Typically when I flip a house, it's going to be about a $3,000 to $5,000 per week estimate. So for instance, if it's a $100,000 job, then it's going to be a 20-week process. This house has now been sitting here, still being worked on for almost 1 full year. And it should have only been a 6-month job max. Now what happened was, I picked it up and immediately started working on the foundation. The foundation company promised me that they were going to pull permits and do things the right way, of course, and they did, but it took a lot of fighting, and they had a lot of ego, and they caused some fights on the property between the demo crew, and they didn't finish the job. They didn't even do the job right. In fact, the sonotubes that they started with were too small. It wouldn't have passed inspection. So they were immediately fired, but I already lost some of my money that I paid to them. And then I hired another company to come in, and they promised that they were going to fix everything and do everything and put in the new beams and put in the new joists. We agreed on a price. They have it in the contract that they were going to do beams, joists, and such. And they decided they're just going to do the piers that they'd already worked on, and they were going to subtract one of the piers that were in the agreement too. So now we're missing a pier in the back addition that we agreed to, so we actually have had another company come in and add that. Then we've got, so that foundation company didn't add the beams, they didn't add the joists, they didn't add that one pier, and they were requesting final payment. They were able to get their buddy, who's a inspector, to come in, an engineer, and he got the approval letter from the engineer, of course, because it's a friend, and it did not meet well with the city inspection that we called out, and so there was a big breakup with that, and so the strike force team almost got involved, and it just became out of hand. And of course, who does that affect? Does it affect the contractors like it's supposed to? No, it affects the homeowner. So there's no accountability for these contractors, and then after that we hired another contractor, another GC, to come in, do the framing, do everything, pull permits. Well, he decided just to pull a general permit and not get the approval from HDRC, not get the approval from the historic district, and so he got me red tagged. So then the city strike team came back out here to get me in trouble. And of course, so I had to fire him and hire someone else. And when they came in, they found out that the studs that he had put in weren't even lined up properly. So he had to remove half the work he even did. So he took more of my money. And then the secondary company that I hired to come in, they started the work. But as they were going through it, they decided, you know what, we don't want to deal with historic. We don't want to deal, it's just too much work. So we quit. So they quit on me. And I had already given them money. So finally I hired this last guy, which I got referred by, luckily, one of the strike team guys. They're not supposed to give referrals, but I was able to coerce a name. And he's done well so far, but, you know, bless his heart, he decided to move like molasses. And so he promised me he'd be done by middle August of last year. Here we are, almost March of 2020. So he has taken way more time than he was supposed to,
Every month cost me $3,000 to hold this property. So all of that adds up. And so if you're going to be getting into flipping, if you're going to be getting into historic, if you're going to be getting into any of this, just know that whatever you budget, it's going to be a heck of a lot more than that. Okay? When I finish this property, I'll probably be all in about $150,000. Original budget was $90,000. So not quite doubled, but pretty close to it. But it doesn't matter. This was going to be my house that I was going to live in, that I was going to move into and keep forever. And it still might be, but I've lost a lot of love for it, obviously, because of all the headache and the problems that we went through. And so if you guys want to know the numbers, I could break it down. We picked it up for about $215,000. I'm putting $150,000 into it. There's going to be about $30,000 of fees and closing costs, and then the house's value will be about $460,000 to $480,000. So just go ahead and do the math, and even though this took a lot of headache and a lot of work, I bought it right, and I know what I'm doing, and there's still a lot of equity in it at the end of the day. So keep flipping, guys.